I'm very patient because the previous testimony has covered every point that I wish to have made, so you got a early lunch.
Wonderful, wonderful. We love that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. A question from Representative.
Is it possible if we have time to ask Representative Hall one question about the form?
Yes, it is.
With regards to the definition of firearms in this form, I was curious what the difference was between the $5 tax and the $200 tax, and I noticed that the $5 tax applies to any other weapon, which is item 5 on this. I'm looking at the definitions page, item C, which is firearms. Number 5, any other weapon is defined in 18 USC, etc. And then there's also item 8, a destructive device. Can you talk a little bit about some of the non-firearms pieces? You talked a little bit about the silencers and suppressors, but how would this affect some of the other things that people might not be thinking about in terms that are covered as a firearm?
Okay. Any other weapon falls down into someone manufactures. The only one that I've ever seen that was sold as in any other weapon was a shotgun with like a 6-inch barrel, pump shotgun with a 6-inch barrel, made out of, I think, out of Florida. It didn't fall under short-barreled rifles. It didn't have rifles. So it fell under any other weapon. So it was a $5 transfer fee versus if you did the same thing to a rifle, it would be a $200 transfer fee. Any other destructive devices? Destructive devices at the federal level includes all sorts of items. I don't know that people are going to start manufacturing, I'm going to use the proverbial hand grenades, right? Because the amount and complexity to building those is probably beyond, and the market, the viable marketplace in the free market probably is not going to make it a business opportunity worth pursuing. I would argue, however, that silencers are clearly in the domain, and that would probably do well if someone wanted to start a business. 1911s, as Mr. Wheeler said earlier, which is a very popular 45 caliber handgun, whereas there's about a dozen rather complex machine parts in there, and compressors, springs, screws, other miscellaneous hardware. Someone would probably take the business opportunity to pursue going after and manufacturing and selling those. Because the cost to not have to deal with the BATF is substantial. There's a substantially better advantage to that business in the state.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a quick question. Under the fiscal note of the bill, it said it may increase state and county expenditures by an indeterminable amount. What do you believe that it will affect the expenditures on the state and county level?
I do not believe that it will. Understand that I have no authorship in the fiscal note portion of this. That's what comes to me as a co-sponsor. I don't see how this is going to impact us as a state. We're really not collecting any revenue off of the fees that are paid to the BATF. So we're not going to lose that revenue. Okay. In fact, I would argue that the additional manufacturing that could take place in the state of New Hampshire would be a boost to things like the BET, BPT, which would help our bottom line in the state as opposed to what's starting to do.
Representative Vincent, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I believe, having read the fiscal comment, or fiscal note, that it is targeted at the cost of prosecuting federal or state individuals who are interfering with New Hampshire-made firearms based upon federal law. Okay. So it was a prosecutorial cost.
All right, we're going to close this hearing. We're going to send this to a subcommittee, rather complex bill, and I'd like to ask Representatives Huxley, Richardson, and Whitehead to be on that subcommittee. And first name representative, of course, is the chair of the subcommittee. So with that, the hearing is closed. I'd like to thank you all for excellent questions today. Excellent drill down questions.